If you know that where you're going to stay, so like address is important to open a bank account, so you can open a bank account. So it can help you to have the transaction when, even if it's the first time in the UK you landed, and you can use that, right?
Yes.
People are asking about the tap in tap out service. What does it mean?
There's so many other applications that you might possibly need to fill while you're in the UK. Maybe for your NHS, maybe for your proof of address, whatever you want to do, you definitely need a guaranteed ID card, which the provisional license would.
Now we're coming to the point, you mentioned that address is important. So another thing is very important, that you need to have a sim, right? Sim card for the communication. Is it difficult to get the sim card, or just is also online everything? And you have to tell us that what is the monthly cost of phone bill. And Charles is very expert on that. What is the importance of credit score?
I mean, as you said, as you mentioned the question, I smiled because yes, I'm very experienced with credit. Now, I'll put it this way: my background as an African, I come from a cash-based system. So my system is: this is the product, this is the money, end of transaction. And because I came into this country with that system, I was buying.
Welcome to another podcast of Campus Group. This is the third podcast of ours. Today we have Charles, head of Africa of Campus Group. So, Charles, can you please introduce yourself to us, to the audience?
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching us from. My name is Charles. I work with Campus Group as the head of Business Development Africa. Presently, we have offices in Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, Botswana. We have a couple of agents in different locations too. And yeah, I'm the guy to talk to if you want to do business with us. You want to have an agreement. You want to bring your students. You have your family members you want to study in the UK. Just reach out to me. On the screen, you should see my email. So just let me know. We can do things together.
That's nice, Charles. Today we'll discuss about the students who are coming to the UK for their higher education, and it could be from Africa, could be from Bangladesh, could be from any other countries. So in this case, the problem they are facing, we will have to discuss, because even though they are coming from their country, they're getting some information about UK from different Facebook book and different posters and everything. But as you have practical experience living in this UK for a long time, so for example, what is the first thing the student should keep in their mind after getting the visa? How should they prepare when they're coming to the UK?
Hmm. This is a tough one.
It's a
All
long
right.
question, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand it. I'll take it from the basics. Um, Let me go back to relocating. In relocating or coming to the UK to study, to live, a lot of students make a very basic mistake, which is they think everybody's story is the same with their story. There are definitely two kinds of people that come to the UK: the ones that either they were forced to or privileged to, and the other ones that really want to and they work hard to get it. Um, in Nigeria, we classify them as the Japa and the relocate people. Now, the Japa is the ones that everybody knows. They just struggle, make up what they have, and then they relocate. They put life together. While the ones that relocate, they are more comfortable. They just decide to change location, probably maybe get an additional degree or move. Just step up whatever they are doing at the same. Well, the first thing to come to your question that they need to know when you get here is to understand that you are starting from zero. It's as good
Exactly.
as you see yourself like you just got out from university again. You're beginning to apply for fresh jobs. You're beginning to gain a new experience. You're beginning to understand how to cross the road, how to eat the food. You know, even little slangs like what good morning means or good afternoon. You know, how to be nice to the bus driver. It's just a lot of culture change. And I would always advise anybody coming to the UK that the first thing you need to do is to understand the place that you're coming to, how you can succeed, what are the quick wins, what you need to do, what is obtainable. and give or take in 6 to 12 months, I think they should be well integrated into the system.
Okay, so let me just go to the like with the main point. So they're coming to the UK.
Yeah.
So after landing to the Heathrow Airport,
Mhm.
what is the first thing they have to consider before coming from their own country? Like, what should be the ready things when they're landing at the Heathrow Airport?
It's a bit tricky question though. Is it like landing in what aspect? Like if they land, are they expected to just go? You need to specify what you want me to answer.
Yeah, I'm
Sorry.
specifying. So, so the thing is that, like,
Mm,
for example, I'm
mm,
a very new student. I am coming from Bangladesh, and my flight is landed. I just crossed the immigration. I
mhm.
have my bag and baggage. So, first thing I face the problem that I don't know. For example, there's no relatives in this country. I have no relatives. So
Okay.
then I landed, and now how can I go to my accommodation?
All right. So, coming to the new country, especially the UK, landing in Heathrow, there are different ways that you can get to your designated or reserved accommodation. The first and easiest way is to go by train.
Hmm.
Definitely, you can get the train ticket at the point of information desk there, because it would bring you into the London or wherever you're going to. And there's a bus system, which is also very good. UK is number one in the world for
Yeah,
transportation.
that's
So
true.
if you just go to the information desk, they will tell you the best service for you. Either you're going by bus, you're going by train. If it's something that is going to be a bit difficult for you, they would recommend you use an Uber. But definitely, first thing you want to do when you come into the country is to go to the information desk to ask simple question how you can get it. They're always willing to help you. They're always there to guide you through, and that's how you begin your journey in the UK.
So you're talking about the transport system. Can
Yeah.
you give us a detail about the transportation system in the UK?
Okay, so the UK has a lot of different systems to move from point A to point B. You have the Uber, which is the taxi. You have the black cab. You have it's called Bolt. I think the Bolt service. So those are the taxi scenarios. You definitely have the bus part. We have the trains, and in the trains we have three different types of trains. You have the overground, you have the underground, and then you have the DLR. All these are combined to get you from point A to point B in 0 to 5 minutes. We also have the cable cart, which is towards the, if you're living in the Greenwich areas and places, you can move from one side to the other side. And in some other locations, you have the ferries too, where you can actually take the train. I've not taken one myself. I think I still have a phobia for water and all that. But these are all very affordable. In fact, it's almost at zero cost, and to give you, you also enjoy the view or the journey itself. It's designed to be interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so now the point is, if someone comes, like the transportation cost. So you explained us that there are lots of modes, right? Uber, and boats, buses, and everything. So, if anyone is living in London and if anyone is living outside London, so this question is in London and outside London. So, what would be their monthly transportation cost?
Okay, so you should budget at least 100 to 150 pounds for transportation monthly if you're living in the UK, especially in areas like London, Birmingham, Manchester, and or bigger cities like that. Um, some of you must have heard the news that they have put a cap on transportation, which means that the highest amount of money you can spend using a bus right now is £2, and it will take you for the whole day. With this new addition, it helps save you more money, helps you do more, move from point A to point B without the hassles of losing a lot. The UK is working hard to make everybody's life better, and I think this would impact students more because we see a lot of students try to save costs, sometimes maybe because they have to offset some part of their fees, some other times maybe just to make sure they can accommodate some other money for research and all that. So I think the £2 cap and the 150 budget a month is a very good one to have.
What about outside London?
So for outside London, it's a bit tricky because the system outside London is almost the same. but it just has longer waiting time.
Right.
So you can still budget the same thing, but you have to keep more time so that you can meet point A to B. Like for instance, a regular bus timing in London comes in maybe every 3 or 5 or 8 minutes. But outside London, it starts from 10, 15, 20 to 30 minutes. So these are things you just want to consider
Mhm.
when you're moving from your design, from your locations, or preparing for your daily commute.
So, does a student need to pay in cash or buy a card or anything else?
Well, the first and most important thing that any student coming into the UK should know is that this is a cashless system.
Society, yeah.
Yes, everything you're doing is either you're tapping your phone, you're tapping your card, you're paying by your smartwatch. It's a smart system.
Mhm.
You can go in this country for probably 10 to 15 years and you definitely won't see any cash. Which brings me the issue. I think I should also let people know that one of the best and the easiest things to do when you come into the country is to get a bank account. The bank accounts are so seamless that you can have one under 5 minutes and you can almost immediately begin to use your bank account even before the card gets in. There's some virtual cards you can use. So it helps you pay. Um, Going back to that, your question about what people should do when they arrive, I also think that if they have an address or they have a place where they already plan to stay, they can just set up their account and also have their card
Okay, so it's
available.
a very interesting topic, point, audience, that if you know that where you're going to stay, so like address is important to
Mhm.
open a bank account. So you can open a bank account. So it can help you to like have the transaction when even if it's the first time in the UK you landed and you can use that,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
So people are asking about the tap in tap out service. What does it mean?
So the tap in means that the tap in and tap out simply means that from your point of entry to your point of exit, you should make sure you acknowledge. The tap in tap out helps to adjust the price for your journey. In a system where the money is calculated at the end of your journey, it needs to know where you started from and where you got off. That's just a simple system.
So okay, so we have sorted the transportation problem, the bank. So can you give me some names of the like main street banks in the UK?
Well, I would love to, but
You have a lot of experience with the
I
banks.
I I know that some banks might not want their names out, and
Yeah.
and I don't want to do free publicity, but I would be because of the one I use that is very student friendly. I'll just give you people two. You can have a Lloyd's account or HSBC account. They're very friendly for students. They also have an overdraft facility where you can have at least 500 to £1,000 just because you're a student. So these banks are good to look out for. You might also want to look at Monzo. Monzo also helps students, give them a little credit. But like I said, I don't want to advertise nobody that has not paid me. So
Maybe they'll come in the next podcast. Yeah.
let's hope so.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so
Mhm.
some people say that it's very important to have the driving license in the UK. What do you think about this thing? And if you think it's important, then how can a person who is a stranger in this country can open a bank? Sorry, can have a driving license. And what is the procedure to have a driving license in this country?
Okay, so this is another compound question.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Well, so I'll take it from the easiest. First thing that anybody and everybody should do when they come into the country is to get a provisional license. Um,
Provisional.
you don't need to be a driver or to understand how to drive to get a provisional license. It is the first recognizable identification card that you have. It is going to be valid for another 10 years and it helps you in so many other applications that you might possibly need to fill while you're in the UK. Maybe for your NHS, maybe for your proof of address, whatever you want to do, you definitely need a guaranteed ID card, which the provisional license would do for you. Now, to come to the part of if you must drive or if you do not drive, I would, because I've been on the two sides, I would say that it depends on you. There are certain people that don't like extra trouble, extra expenses, extra worries like where am I going to park? Where will I leave my car? what happens if somebody hits me. Some people don't want all those trouble. They just want to stay focused and all that. If that's you, it's fine. The UK has, like I said, the best transport system in the world. You can practically live in this country and not miss out on any appointment or any place you need to be. And then on the other part, if you're somebody that likes to maximize your time, probably run a few business shuffles from point A to point B, save time on the road, have some family outing and all that, then you might need a car because going out with family, sometimes a journey of 20 minutes, you might end up doing it for about 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours. Not because the network or this transport system is terrible, but because you need to go to some certain points before you can connect to some certain points. So it depends on the person, how they want to live their life. And then to answer the last part of your complex question,
Question, yeah,
which
complex.
is the driving test itself. Now, the driving test itself is kind of interesting. It's basic. I think they put that fear out there intentionally for people to not want to drive. But if you ask me, it's quite easy. All I would say is just make sure you understand the roundabouts, have good lane discipline, be very observant because we have more people using the road. For instance, in Africa, we have just bikes, kekes, big vehicles, and all that using the road. But in the UK, you have people with scooters, roller skates.
Mm.
Um, they have this, what do you call this? Is this scooters? There's this electronic one. There's the skateboard. You have wheelchair users. You have bicycles. You have motorcycles. You have unlimited number of road users. So you just want to take note of all those things there.
So now, the thing is that now we have sorted this driving license thing. So is it very expensive to buy a car in this country? Like people ask that we should be rich, right, to buy a car?
Well, I don't know what being rich is because rich is relative. I mean, some people can afford to buy a box of chicken for £5 and consider themselves very wealthy, while somebody might buy a car 1 million and say that they're broke. So rich is relative. But what I'll tell you about buying a car is you can definitely get a car for as low as £300, £500. Probably might be a manual car. And then for an automatic, maybe 800, 1,000, 2,000, depending on your taste. There's always something for everybody.
So anyone can buy a car, right?
Anybody can buy a car.
Anybody can buy a
Yeah.
car. So guys, you can own a car in the UK, but you need a driving license, right?
Well,
Yeah,
if you've been driving from other countries and you have
international driving license.
an international driving license and maybe a no claims discount certificate,
Hmm.
you can definitely start driving in the UK if you have a provisional license. And then this helps you apply for your insurance. And as much as I hate advertising for people, one of the best companies that would give you an insurance cover so you can start driving is Marshmallow. They are very friendly to
We should
immigrants.
reach them to sponsor us, right?
Well,
Yeah,
that's up to you.
yeah.
So they're very friendly to immigrants. They You could just do everything from the comfort of your phone. Like I said, in the UK, it's very seamless. You don't need to go to any
Anywhere.
appointment. Just from your phone, you would get your bank, you get your insurance, you get your car. They will even deliver it to your house. The most important thing for you to do is just get your address, get yourself out there, make sure you're doing the right things, and the country is there for you to enjoy.
So now we're coming to the point. Like you mentioned that address. Address is important. So another thing is very important that you need to have a SIM, right? SIM card for the communication. Is it difficult to get the SIM card, or just is also online everything?
Oh,
And you have to tell us that what is the monthly cost of phone bill?
okay. All right. So in the time when I was coming to the UK, if you had were successful with your student interview or I mean your student visa,
Mm.
when you were picking your passport up, you were going to be given a SIM line, probably Libera, like a mobile,
Yeah,
all that.
yeah, yes.
Yeah, but since the system has changed to e-system now, where letters are being sent out, one of the easiest ways to get a SIM card is once you get to the airport, you can just buy one that's less than £1 or £2. Things I hear some people sell about £5 to £10. It's maybe because it's in the airport, but once you come out of that area, you could get 1 or 2 or 3 lines for 10p, 50p, £1, and it's very affordable. And if you put a budget of £5 to £10, depending on how much you use your internet, you should be able to cover your monthly bills on telephones. Um, some There's a new eSIM that is also available if you are successful to open your bank account. For example, if you're using Revolut account, you can get an eSIM with Revolut. This number can be your main number, can help you roam, and it gives you data. It's a simple way to move from country to country without worrying about changing numbers.
Hmm. Like, that's fine. We have our address. Now we have our phone number. Now we paid an NHS fees, right? IHS. So what
Mhm.
is the benefit of that? Insurance. We are paying
Okay.
a hell lot of money for insurance. Then what is the benefit of that?
Okay. So having your IHS fee paid covers any emergencies. For me, there was a particular night I was in my house. I had a very terrible shoulder pain. I mean, I felt like I was not gonna make it till the next morning, and then I called the ambulance service, which is part of the
NHS, yeah.
NHS, which we pay for. And the first thing they did was to lighten up the mood, to let me know, come on, they do all that. Why I brought this story up is to let you know that sometimes when people want to pay this money, they look at it like, oh, I don't fall ill, I don't go to the hospital, I can get the drugs. It is not just the drugs or the hospital, it is the complete service, the fact that some people would be there for you when you need them. You know, paying that money covers your entire stay as
Yeah,
a student. And if you also happen to work in the care sector, I think they also give you a certain amount of the money
right,
back.
right,
Yeah. So it's like I always say, you don't know how good something is until you don't have it.
right.
And you don't want to find out how life is without an IHS. So please pay your IHS.
Yeah, this. I just want to add one thing to our audience that when you are paying the IHS fee, we are thinking that you are paying a lot of money. But as we are living in the UK, we found is like it's not like that much because the service they're giving to us in case of healthcare, which is the best in the world, and you don't need to pay a single amount, even if any disease you have, just you have to pay for your, I think, eyes and like for dental service, right? So, but the thing is that you have in your own country, sometimes you always try to. The difficult thing is that you always have to go in doctors. They are sending you to do a test here and there. But NHS is a like it. The full health service is under one roof, and you will have the best service. We can vouch on that because we got these things. There's the best service in the health service in the world, which we have in the UK. So yeah, so we can market about NHS, right?
Mhm.
We got service from them. So this is the thing. Now, in case of coming back to the first point, like accommodation. So lots of people are coming and they're facing the issue that they cannot book accommodation from their own country, from the South Asia, and they're coming. They don't know how to book the accommodation. Maybe they're single, maybe they're with family. So my first question will be how they can research about the accommodation, how they can book the accommodation, what documents they require for the accommodation, and what would be the cost for a single person or like the person with the family in the UK. You can specify London and outside London. The accommodation cost.
Okay, so basically, if you're coming into London, you should have a budget for a single room of between £600 to £800, and you should prepare your mind that this room is going to be in a shared apartment. You probably have to share maybe a kitchen, probably have to share, or you might be lucky to get your own private bathroom. Now, the thing about landing somewhere is the fact that it is cheaper because if you want to go to, say, an Airbnb or a hotel, you probably be spending 50 to £100 in one day. So it is always better to have a kind of shared apartment or a house where you can probably view and also make payment to go in. Um, the documentation required in getting a personal house in the UK is you need to do your employment reference, you need to do your living analysis. They need to know what It's called your affordability check, because nobody will give you a house that you cannot pay for. You definitely need to get at least one or two histories of where you have lived before. Now, this is particularly a challenge for most people coming into the UK. So we I want to say we, because I'm also an immigrant. We don't come in with a lot of history. We don't come in with a lot of pre-rental stories or cash in the hand to buy a building. So the first and most important place for you to want to look out for is shared apartments that are student friendly. And if you're lucky to have where they have probably a reading area, a common room, it's also an added advantage for you.
Okay. What is the importance of credit score in this country? Credit score, audience, this is very important part, and Charles is a very expert on that. What is the importance of credit score?
I mean, as you said, as you mentioned the question, I smiled because yes, I'm very experienced with credit. Now, I'll put it this way: my background as an African, I come from a cash-based system. So my system is this is the product, this is the money, end of transaction. And because I came into this country with that system, I was buying my phones, buying my laptops, buying everything outright, thinking that yes, they're going to give me a high credit score. Apparently, this system doesn't work that way.
Mm.
The system wants to see how well you take money and how well or how fast you repay it, how good you are with small or big or high incomes. So what I would say about credit score is from day one when you arrive into the UK, maximize every opportunity you have to build your credit score. Some universities give opportunities to buy some friendly laptops with a discount code, interest free, payback. Simple actions like that can help you build your credit score. Some banks give you overdraft facility, even when you don't need them. Certain times, use them to make payments for certain things, pay it back. The more you keep using this credit and paying back, the more they keep increasing your limits. And at some point, you under maybe a year or two, you'll be able to have a good credit to even pay up a mortgage or get a property somewhere, which would
Yeah,
also
yeah.
become a source of income for you.
So it's very important that like you have to maintain your credit score. Like you have to be a very regular payer. So to improve your credit score, am I
Hmm.
am I right? Right.
Yes, yes.
Um, Now it's coming to the point. Like when you have to have a credit score, you have some earning, right?
Earnings.
Yeah, earning. Like you have to. Let's talk about the work right in the UK.
Hmm.
So how many hours a student can work?
Well, the student is limited to 20 hours a week. 20 hours is on an average salary should be like 260, £300 a week.
So the minimum wage is now 12.71.
So 71.
12.71. Yeah.
Let's use 10 for argument's sake.
Uh,
If you're doing 10 per week and 20 hours is like 200, in 4 to 5 weeks, that's like 800, £1,000.
right. Right.
So what you need to know off your mind is that your expense cannot be as high or higher than 5 to 600. You want to keep something on the side. Now people will be like, "Oh, how can I survive with 5 or 600? This 20 hours." Well, 20 hours is only temporary while you're studying, and don't forget that you already told us that you have all the money before you're coming here to survive yourself for a year, to rent the house, to do everything. So this additional money is just to keep you busy, like a social gathering, or gain some out of the job experience. But in the case where this is the only money you have, as most of us and our stories, because sometimes you come into the reality of um, some unforeseen expenses that you didn't, maybe your laptop just goes off, or maybe certain loss somewhere, or you had to make a travel. Certain things happen in life that you generally have to adjust your budget. Surviving with 800 to £1,000 a month would mean that you might have to make yourself a little bit uncomfortable for a short period of time. What do I mean by this? If, for instance, a single room costs 500 to 600 and a double room is 700 to 800, I'll probably pick a room with my friend and split the bill, maybe 300, 350. By doing that, I've saved myself another 500 to £700 that I can play with monthly. If I
Mm-hmm.
reduce my transportation and my feeding to essential places where I need to be with maybe 200 to cover that. At the end of the month, I'll probably still have 500 or 300 saved, depending on whichever the case is. I know some people would always want to believe that they would always want to say it's easy for we to say, but trust me, we've lived that life. We understand what it is. We know how you can get and where you can get decent meals for as low as £3. You get good biryani, good chicken and chips. You have a very, very delicious meal. And then you can just cut your, is it your coat according to your size? Is that how they say?
So if you share your room with your friend, then the cost would be around 500 to 600 pounds, like if living expense, right? So now there is a thing that students are not very much familiar with. It is called NI number, right? National insurance number. Is it still there? Is it important for a student to have the NI number?
Okay, so generally you cannot start working if you don't have an NI number. We know that there are other jobs that people can do out of office, maybe like construction jobs and all that. But to be in the system and to be recognized, you definitely need to have a national insurance number. This national insurance is it takes a certain amount of your money as tax, roughly between 30 to 60 pounds, depending on what you're earning. But note, you are not allowed to start paying NI insurance until you've earned at least 12,000. And even in any case, when the money is deducted, you can be rest assured that on the next start of the financial year, you'll be getting a rebate or a refund from the Home Office or the Revenue HMRC.
HMRC, yeah, you are making this.
They are all the same to me, man.
Yeah. Okay, so we are covering everything about the like students' life. So it's becoming boring that if you are coming here and you are cooking by yourself and everything to save money. But can you tell us that if anyone wants to travel like within the UK, or if you want to, like any student, their family, they want to travel UK or Europe, so by eating out, so or entertainment, so what portion of the money, like how much it will be the cost, like how can they um, spend their money in the entertainment, like what type of entertainment things? You are not coming here in UK for just study or just work. You are here to be inclusive, understanding the culture, and have entertainment. Like there are lots of things you can do. So what are those things? Can you explain us?
All right. So, for instance, if you're living in London in the UK, you have lots of parks in different locations. You have the Hyde Park, you have the Green Park, you have the
Yeah, parks are
Jubilee
everywhere.
Park. These parks are mostly for recreation. So, some of them you have lakes, you have
Hmm.
boats, you have some Fairlop Water Park. There's a lot of parks, you know. Um, if you are not very in tune with nature and you like practicalities, there's some amusement parks, there are some mo- theaters and so many places to see, like the London Eye. You could go to the Camden Amusement Park and all that.
Museums.
Museums too, the National Gallery, lots of private museums. There's a Camden one in Bow. There's almost something everywhere in the city. But when it comes to the part of food, eating out, and the opportunities that students have,
Hmm.
I would want to say that it is definitely up to you for what you want to do because London, sorry, let me put it better. The United Kingdom
Hmm.
is the country with the highest multiculturality.
Yeah,
What
that's
that
true.
means is that any kind of food you want, if you want to eat Eastern African, Western African, like my jollof rice.
Jollof rice, man.
Yeah.
Jollof rice.
Our jollof
Yeah.
rice is our international export, You can get all this for as little as £5 to £10,
Yeah.
depending on where you go to, what you do, and how you want it. There is always something for you.
Yeah.
And yes, people want to save costs by cooking, but there are certain times you also have to integrate, like you have said. You need to go and try the British fish and chips,
Mm-hmm.
and you also have to try the
Mesh and pie.
was that food that I tried in the Bangladeshi restaurant?
Oh,
the
it
mash and the rice and
yeah, it's it's a mashed potato, rice, and beef curry,
so if,
Indian foods,
and,
and
and how
Bangladeshi
much was
food.
that?
It's very like it's a 5 pound a plate, right?
See, so I mean, I had the best of Asian cuisine for just £5, and there was egg, there was fish, there was lamb, there was everything in the food. So just keep an open mind and you enjoy the country.
Okay, that was a nice answer actually.
Mm.
You prepared yourself before that.
Mm, it's okay. I don't know what to say.
So thank you, audience, for listening to the podcast. We are coming to the end. So Charles, can you give us a brief that what we have discussed and when the students are coming to the UK, what points the cover in the whole podcast you cover a lot of points. Just give us a brief about it.
Well, thank you all for staying with us to the end. We've covered about your life landing here. The first things you need to do, your bank statement, your
Mm-hmm.
identification, your cost of living. We've tried to cover also your settling accommodation. But don't wait till you are here to reach out to us. Like you said, like we've mentioned before, our
Mm-hmm.
emails and our numbers are on the screen there. The moment you've thought about starting this journey, reach out to us. We'll guide you through. If you're also thinking about doing this as a business, if you have lots of people that you want to recommend, reach out to us. There's no question too small or too big. We'll be there to assist you, to guide you. And yeah, we'll be looking forward to welcoming you here to try our biryani and what's that food?
So jollof rice.
Jollof rice. So thank you guys. Enjoy your day.
Thank you very much, guys, for listening to this podcast. Our next podcast is coming the next week. Hope you will watch it. Thank you.